In a previous video, we looked at the different amounts of wheat one could raise on each acre, the different yield in bushels per acre, and then we looked at the profits one could earn from doing that. And we saw that we maximize profits right here. That's the largest profits of $29 per acre, and we do that by producing 36 bushels per acre. But notice we could have produced more. We could have produced 36.2 bushels per acre. And sometimes when people see this, they ask this very reasonable question: if we want to maximize profits, why aren't we maximizing yield? And certainly if I just came up and asked you to make the most money, do you want to produce as much wheat per acre as possible, you'd probably say yes, because the question kind of begs that answer. In this video, we're going to quickly see why, to maximize profits, we don't maximize yield. Not always. So why don't we maximize yield to max profits? That's what we're asking. To see this, let's go back to this table here. And if this table is unfamiliar to you, you need to go back and see previous videos. We saw that maximum profits were here at 29, where we produce 36 bushels per acre. Now we want to ask, why is it that profits fall when we produce more wheat per acre? Well, to do this, let's suppose that, and let's remember here that there's different nitrogen levels at each different row here. And I'm going to remind you what these nitrogen levels are. The first row is where we're not producing any wheat, so I'm ignoring that. The second row here is when we raise wheat, but we don't apply any nitrogen per acre. To get 25 bushels per acre, we apply 10 pounds of nitrogen per acre. Then 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. And so we maximize profits by applying 50 pounds of nitrogen per acre. And notice we could have applied 60 pounds, 10 more pounds. We would have gotten more wheat yield, but our profits would have fallen. So clearly we don't make money by increasing nitrogen from 50 to 60 pounds per acre. And let's see exactly why. So what we're asking is, we're going to ask, if we start from the point where we're applying 50 pounds of nitrogen per acre and then we increase it to 60, what are those additional costs? How much do costs go up and how much do revenues go up? Well, first let's look at the increase in cost. We know that the price of nitrogen is 10 cents per pound. So we'll put the price of nitrogen right here, 10 cents per pound. And to go from 50 to 60 pounds, we're adding 10 more pounds of nitrogen. So our costs are going to go up by $1. But then what about our revenues? Our revenues are going to go up. The price of wheat is $4 per bushel. But how much more wheat do we get by going from 50 to 60 pounds of nitrogen per acre? Here we got to look down at this table, and we see that when we go from 50 to 60 pounds per acre, wheat yield goes from 36 to 36.2 bushels per acre. So wheat yield only goes up by 0.2. And thus revenues go up by only 80 cents. And so the answer is clear why we don't want to maximize yield, because to go from 50 to 60 pounds of nitrogen per acre, which increases yield from 36 to 36.2 bushels per acre, our costs go up by $1, but our revenues go up by only 80 cents. So on that extra 10 pounds, we lose 20 cents per acre. And that's why, if we made this switch and went from 36 bushels per acre to 36.2, profits go down from 29 to 28.8. They go down by 0.2. That's the answer in numbers. And if we were going to answer this in words and say, why don't we maximize yield, we would answer something like this. To go from the profit maximizing yield to the highest yield possible, the additional cost of getting higher yields is less than the additional revenues. And that's why. Pretty straightforward.